So if he wants to be called a Jew, I'll call him a Jew. I'm fine.
Can she act? Who gives a fuck?
I bet your wife. Yeah, she's hot.
You took away his emotional support, chicken.
Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
I got it at the vending machine like eearlier. It's been sitting on my desk staring at me, and I'm like, God damn, I have to eat it. I'll be thinking about it the entire time we record.
Grabación en corto.
My level's good here, though. It sounds all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you sound great.
Sick.
You look good too. You look great, actually.
Doing my
I don't
best.
know how
excited.
you usually look, so I can't really
To
make an
hide
objective decision.
How was Vegas?
Vegas was good. Vegas was good. I wasn't looking forward to going down there. It was just like, because I was kind of doing a little bit more of the production side of things than the stand-up side. So going around, being around a bunch of comedians that are all performing on it, and you're doing a little bit more of the business side. It's kind of like you don't want to be seen as a suit. But then I did go up and smash a couple shows, and no one, no one was looking at me like I'm an industry dude.
But you are.
That's good.
I do everything. It's behind, you kind of have to do a lot, wear many hats to be successful in comedy, especially in Canada.
For
Okay.
sure.
This isn't as much runway.
It's like podcasting. We do like everything, right? Like it's not
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but we're not successful.
Oh, shut up, Celeste.
You will be. You will be.
With Richard on our side, buddy.
Well, you look at like Luis Gomez from Legion of Skanks, and he's a stand-up, but all of his biggest success is podcasting and the podcast network that he runs, the festival. You got to be kind of have multiple lines in the water.
for sure.
But, we recorded I think 10 hours worth of podcasts while I was there, and then I jumped on a couple other podcasts, and I got onto the show with Luis Gomez and Aaron Berg, the Offend Everyone show, and that was nice, big theater.
That's cool.
Got video of it.
I'm happy you got out to do that. I'm glad you got to come do today. So today we're gonna talk about the Hedgehog. I don't know if
Christ.
I don't know if you know who Chris Chan is. We're not talking about the fucking rip-off Sonichu hedgehog. We're talking about the disgusting Jewish hedgehog with a mustache. That's what we're talking about today. Ron Jeremy.
You had to throw Jewish in there, eh? That
he loves to throw it around. He loves to throw in the Jew. He's like, I'm a Jew. Yeah. So he wants to be called a Jew. I'll call him.
That was weird. That was weird, Richard. The way that you immediately were like, "I'm a Jew." Like, I put your hands up. Like,
I didn't know you were Jewish.
Is that how you're used to seeing them from the other side of your fucking SS issued rifle?
I'm a Jew. Yeah. No. I got Nazi blood in me. It's not a big deal.
Well,
I didn't do anything. My grandpa probably did. I've never heard the stories, but I'm assuming he did.
Bo, do you have any Nazi in you?
Not currently. I don't know any Nazis.
Only Patreon knows you wink to that.
I don't know where my dad's from because he's adopted. And my mum's family's from Spain. So
I don't.
Conquistadors.
They're arguably worse.
Yeah, if you go back far enough, for sure. You're not Nazi at all, Tyler? Wow.
No, I converted. No, I'm not. I got a horrible taste in stolen art.
Yeah, so we got Tyler today, Tyler Morrison, comedian, good friend of mine, as our guest today. And I put him on the show today. Maybe I should do this first before I say this. Like, Bo, do you know who Ron Jeremy is? I know Celeste does. Do you know who Ron Jeremy is?
Of course not.
Really? This is going to be fantastic. I'm so excited for you.
Well, I mean, you called him the Hedgehog, so it's either he's a prickly dude or it's something to do with his MO.
We'll find out why I got the name the Hedgehog in a little bit, but he's a porn star from the 70s, 80s, all the way up till like recently 2018. I think this is his last porn.
Hang on. He's a porn star, and you're shocked I don't know who he is.
I was just thinking that. I was like, if you're looking for people who don't know who Ron Jeremy is, start with the lesbians.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's so like, he's in everything. He's like,
yeah, he's
everything.
Pretty mainstream. He's pretty mainstream porn star. Yeah. He did cross over into that.
Into lesbian porn, did he?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't want it.
So hang on.
Filming that camera.
When you say he's mainstream, do you mean he's mainstream in the porn industry?
No, like he crossed over into pop culture. So he was on a bunch of like those reality shows. The first ever surreal life reality show that they did with like, I think Vanilla Ice was on it. All the, Gary Coleman, bunch of washed up child stars, and he was involved in that.
Wait, he was a porn star as a child star?
No. There was a lot of child stars. It was all damaged people from Hollywood that they put in this reality show. I mean, you'd have to be really good at porn.
I don't know, man. Based on his reputation, they left more damage than they came.
Oh yeah. He's got a bad rep now.
Now, for sure. But before the whole shebang we're going to talk about with Ron today, actually, Tyler did the roast. He was like the roast master for Ron Jeremy's roast. Were you the roast master or just roasting? I thought you were.
No, I was just roasting. I was one of the performers on it, but I was the head writer for it. So I wrote a bunch of the jokes for all the people that were on it. I wrote a bunch of jokes for Ron.
Wow.
There's other people.
This has ruined everything for me. People write the jokes at roasts. Roasts are not funny anymore.
Oh, well, the people that aren't comedians, they have. Yeah, the celebrities have comics writing them jokes because when they don't, it falls apart. And if you watch the Ron Jeremy roast, you'll understand why they should have done the jokes at the comedians.
So all the mean shit that Martha Stewart said to Justin Bieber was a lie?
Oh, absolutely. It was a lie. There's like
No, it wasn't a lie. It was just someone else's joke.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But it wasn't her actual joke, but it's written very specifically within her character, and she's gonna say yay or nay on what joke she's gonna do, that type of thing. And she might have a little bit of creative involvement in it, like say, hey, this is kind of what I want to do, and the writers will tailor it towards her voice. But that type of stuff happens on all these roasts. I mean, sometimes it's like a whole team of people just on one, personality, depending on who they are.
Bullshit.
Really pulling the curtain back on comedy. Yeah. I didn't agree to this. No. Speaking of Ron Jeremy, you did not have my consent to pull back this curtain today.
I didn't know that you guys wouldn't know that. Yeah, that's definitely something that happens. There's even like big comedians. Hilarious. As they get bigger, they, the supply and demand, once the supply is shorter than the demand, they have to bring in like writers to work with them and stuff like that. That just happens. There's legendary comics that have teams of writers. I won't give up their names. So,
good.
But
I thought this all came off the top of our heads. I thought when we did stand up, it was all off the top of our heads. First time we ever thought of it.
Yeah. I've never written a joke in my life. I love comedians like, I don't write jokes, I write them on stage. Yeah, right. You fucking
look.
bomb.
I know that comedians have to write jokes when they get on stage, but usually you assume it's from their brain hole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
most people would start like that, and then like the more you get famous, the less time you have to just go to comedy clubs and work out shit. So Like Chappelle has writers. There's no way he doesn't. Like Chris Rock has writers. All these guys have writers.
I don't know if Chappelle does. I don't know if Chappelle does. I've never heard that. I feel like he doesn't.
Okay.
I feel like he's one of the guys that doesn't.
I would explain why he's not funny.
Hot take. I disagree, but that's okay.
Everyone disagrees. He's not funny. I don't get it.
I'm going to say that you're wrong, but I'm going to say there's a reason why he's not as funny as he was before. And I think it's because he's put out way too much content in a short period of time. There's specials that he's put out that if he put them out, if he gave it a little bit more time and like trim the fat, he'd be able to put out like a perfect special. But he like put out, I don't know, like 7 hours in the last 5 years. That's a lot of material. Like as comedy fans, it's like if you're really into stand-up, it's like interesting to kind of see his whole body of work, kind of warts and all. But I mean, this is a guy who could refine that and he could have put out half of what he put out in the last 7 years, and everyone would be like, oh, these are masterpieces. He got sidetracked on the trans thing. That's a whole other like ball of wax. But I do think
whole other ball of wax.
Yeah, well, I guess a can of worms.
All right. Whole other ball of wax.
What was the saying?
Grasshoppers.
I was gonna say, what was the saying you said earlier that we were both like, what did you just say?
Piece of piss.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying we have our own weird ones too.
Yeah. I said, oh, it's a piece of piss, and both of them looked at me, and I was like, is that not a? I mean, it's easy.
Yeah,
it's a whole other ball of wax.
I thought that was a pretty common saying. It's kind of an old timey thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Where are you getting a ball of wax for, and why is it?
Fuck if I know.
Where do you get the can of worms?
Well, you go down in Canada, you can get them at the local convenience store, the general store, the taxidermy. You're gonna go fishing.
Yeah, but I don't know. When people say that to me, I picture like you bust out the can opener and open it up like ravioli, and there's just like worms in there.
It's usually just like a styrofoam tin, right?
That you get
yeah. Fire
Yeah. Anyway,
okay, what year was the roast? Just so I can put this in
2015, I think, and it came out in 2016.
And then okay. Well, do you know anything else about Ron Jeremy? Like, do you know about his life or anything like that? Do you know? Like, I know you met him and stuff. I'll ask more questions when we get to 2015 area. But I'm just.
I think he's from New York City. I'm pretty sure originally, and he wanted to be a comedian and like kind of failed at that, and then he stumbled into the porn industry.
All right, I'll get into it. I'll get into it. I'm just wondering how much you know about it, how much you guys.
We're gonna get. Oh, okay. So you actually know how that happened. I was like, what happened? Did he just like get too drunk, piss outside in public and outside a comedy show that he bombed at? And they're like, hey man, here's my card. Let's talk about it.
You got a huge dick. Let's try and make money off of this.
I don't recall exactly what. Yeah, I don't know a ton about his early life, or I don't remember it. I would have known a bunch about him when I was writing all these jokes, but that was quite a while ago. A lot of beers.
Okay, well, first of all, his name isn't really Ron Jeremy. Okay, it's his middle name's Jeremy. His name's Ronald Jeremy Hyatt, and he was born in Queens, New York, 1952. Yep. His dad, Arnold, was a physicist, a professor at Queens College. Pretty smart fucking dude.
Must be proud.
You'll see how proud he is or is not.
His son's got a rocket.
Because he missed an opportunity with Hyatt. Like he could have been Hyman Destroyer Hyatt or something. Like he's missed opportunities there with his name. Hyatt's a good one.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see why he doesn't. There's a lot of information. There's not a lot of information about his mom out there, but there is a few things that I found out. I just don't know her name. Like no one says her name, but I do know she was a book editor after World War II, and during World War II, she was part of the OSS, which was like the predecessor to the CIA. She's a fucking spy during World War II. She's fluent in German, cryptographer, decoder, super smart lady. Parkinson's super early in life when Ron was about 7 or 8. And then she was in the hospital by that time. And then she was in a nursing home not that long later.
Oh, sorry, what did you say happened?
Yeah, we missed a key word there. I have no idea how
what
we
did
got
you
here.
say? How'd she get sick? What?
She had Parkinson's disease. She got Parkinson's.
Parkinson's. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Yep. I'm
And
back.
then and then she deteriorated quickly, and then she ended up in a nursing home before Ron was an adult. She died in a nursing home later in life. But so there's not much known about, like, I don't even know her fucking name. I looked for a long time.
You're not supposed to know her name. She's a spy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like she's good at her job.
That's
I'm
true.
surprised you didn't find 36 different names for her.
Yeah, exactly.
The Born Identity. Hey.
Yeah. Ron has a brother named Larry who lives with his father in Nashville still to this day, which I find
Ronald
weird.
and Larry.
Larry really would.
Ronald
be
and
living with his
Lawrence,
dad.
right? Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence. Yeah.
Lame.
He has a sister named Susan who talks a lot in a documentary. His documentary that came out in 2001. So if you want to go see his sister, she's very proud of him too. She speaks highly of him, which I find fun.
Girl, what that mouth do?
Ron graduated high school from Benjamin N. Cardozo High School. His sister said he was always a popular guy, always a performer, always wanted to act, stuff like that. Reginald Val Johnson is another notable alumni from Cardozo High School.
Family Matters,
He
baby.
should have taken that name. Now that's a good fucking
You know
name.
who Reginald? Do you guys know who Reginald Val Johnson is?
Reggie the
Reggie?
Rocket.
Old Reg.
Carl Bone Crusher Winslow.
From Family Matters, like the dad from Family Matters.
And the cop from Die Hard.
I'm too old for this shit.
You don't know,
No,
like, did I do that? You know, Steve Urkel, like that show.
Yeah.
Well, the dad from that show. He was like the dad. He was a year older than Ron Jeremy, so they would have hung out. Like, they would have known each other, which I find amazing. Like, I don't know if they did hang out. I didn't find any stories like that, but they did. Guaranteed. They were in theater together.
Here's a little fun fact. I'm pretty sure they both make cameos in Ghostbusters. Do they not?
They do. Yes, they do.
Is Reginald in that too? Okay.
Yeah, they do for sure. I don't really talk about his cameos. There's too much shit. He's in like so much crap.
I know, but both of those guys, both of them are in it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and they're both from the same high school, which I found fun. Yeah, so Ron was a theater kid in high school. First acting gig was a part in his high school's production of Oklahoma. So I love to just think of this guy singing fucking Oklahoma. Like, I just love that. I find that amazing. He graduated high school, moved on to Queens College, where he studied theater and education, 2 degrees, eventually earning a degree in both, and a master's in special education. He taught for a few years at a place called the Association for Advancement of Blind and Retarded, the AABR.
Oof. Oof.
The AABR is still around to this day. Okay.
Love it.
It's a real place that still exists, never to be canceled. I don't know how they didn't just change their name.
It's the blind and retarded.
Yeah.
But not even wait. It's not or?
Yes, that's my question. Are they blind and retarded, or are they blind and or retarded?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it sounds very specific. So let's go with the blind retarded people or disabled people. I don't fucking know.
My porn history search too.
Same.
So during the day, he would teach, and at night, he would pursue his dream of working as an actor on Broadway. He didn't make much money from his teaching job, and he also made no money from his off Broadway acting. So his teaching job was what he called his ace in the hole. His parents kind of made him do that as like a side gig so he could go be an actor. He also worked as a maitre d' and waiter at the Paramount Hotel. So in 1977 or 78, I can't figure out the exact date, Ron and his girlfriend at the time knew some girls that were in Playboy. Their Playboy spreadsheet shoot actually led them to some like theater gigs. Ron figured if he rented out a nice room at the Paramount Hotel and got some pictures of himself, he could send them to Playgirl and the pictures would do the same for him. He would get like some sort of acting role from it.
I just could you imagine looking at Playboy and going, this half-naked chick with buzzies to the gods, she could be the best she could be the best protagonist for Streetcar Named Desire. Like, it just, for me, it doesn't it doesn't translate as well.
You're thinking of it in a woman lens in 2022. Think of a 1975 lens or 1979 lens of a producer of The Street Called Desire going like, that chick has nice tits, plus she doesn't mind showing them off. I wouldn't mind having her over here for A Streetcar Named Desire. You know what I mean? Like that's the mentality.
Yeah.
It's not like this
That'll
girl's a good
sell me more
actress.
tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Can she act? Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? They're coming out. The girls are coming out. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, so he runs out of the room, gets a bunch of pictures of himself, sends them in, and then he thinks like, oh, they're gonna see these pictures and they're gonna fly me to LA for a photo shoot, get me some sort of theater gig. And then he sends them out and he uses his real last name. You were asking that, Ron Hyatt.
Unsolicited dick pics. OG.
To Playgirl, yeah.
Unsolicited.
Playgirl, no, they want that though.
Yeah. So they all want
They're
it.
totally asking for it, dude.
You see what's on the cover of that magazine? They wanted it, dude.
Is the guy's dick in a hot dog bun?
Is that real? I have to look up Playgirl. I have to see what kind of literature this is.
He wrote like, my name's Ron Hyatt. I'm from Queens, New York. I like to go hang gliding and sailing. And when I get a chance, I like to do that stuff. And I'm working on my master's degree in special education. I know what you're thinking. That fat fuck Ron Jeremy was not hang gliding.
But he wasn't fat back then. Look at
That's
him.
what I'm saying. This is 1970 Ron Jeremy right here.
Yeah.
Thin enough. He's doing it.
And did he get into Playgirl?
Oh, well, yes, for sure. The photos didn't get him any theater gigs,
Yeah.
or photo shoot or anything like that. But they did tell Ron that they were going to use it for their Boy Next Door segment.
Ew.
All right.
I'm going to cancel my subscription. I can't believe that.
Boy Next Door at the Center for the Blind and Retarded.
So he used his real name.
Oh,
All right.
that's
He used it.
weird.
Railing and brailing.
I found it. I found the article, and it's just him with like just everything up. But the way that he's sitting, it looked like he was tucking, and he had his arm on his like stomach.
No, that's his dick.
was
That's
like,
his dick.
what?
It's not his arm.
Oh my god!
Ron's dick has retard strength. That's
Yeah.
and it'll poke your eye out. That's how he got the gig at the fucking blind retard school.
He was making them. So he uses his real name, Ron Hyatt. Used the real place that he lived, and then because he did that, the calls start flying in. All right. Problem was in Queens, there were so many people with the first initial R and last name Hyatt that because people are just using the phone book to call him. Right. So they kept calling R Hyatt, which was his grandmother who lived downstairs.
Oh no.
She got so many calls day and night that she couldn't take it anymore and had to move out for a while. Playgirl likes to think that their audience is mostly women, but it isn't. Ron said his Mima kept getting calls from not only horny housewives looking for a guy with a huge dick, but also many gay guys looking for the same thing.
In all fairness, she had a huge cock.
Yeah, she was massive.
His dad and grandma were fucking pissed. His dad told Ron that if he wanted to get into this, quote, if you want to get into this naked, crazy business, so be it. But if you use the family name again, I'll kill you. So when he gets into porn, he uses the middle name Jeremy instead of Hyatt. They never really told. There is some funny quotes from the grandma. They never told him exactly what he was doing, like the porn stuff, but they did say he had to take his clothes off. And here's a quote from the grandma. Oh, you take your clothes off and the whole world wants to meet you. That makes sense. You were always such a handsome young flubber butt. That's his grandma. That's it.
That's not what you want. Not a flubber butt.
That's not what you want your grandma saying at all.
Well, I suppose it's better than saying you've got a massive dick.
You're so handsome, my little bubbakins. You must be even more handsome with no clothes on.
So after the hype with the Playgirl shoot, Ron decides to go see his filmmaker friend named Joe, and I tried to figure out who Joe was, but just said Joe, to see if they could make a movie together. Now he's got a little bit of hype behind his name. Joel told Ron that I only make adult films. Okay, I'm not going to make the artsy movie you want to make now, but if you want to get in on it, I saw your dick. It's huge. Ron Jeremy's like, no, you guys make smut. I'm not doing that. All right. I've my 9-inch 3/4 inch penis, 9 3/4 inch penis is not for sale, buddy.
Yeah,
Smut.
sure you did.
So he declined him. because he didn't really always understand. He figured out he had a huge dick early on in life. This is something he kept bragging to in one of the articles. He just like he keeps explaining to the reporter that he first realized he had a big dick when he was at Boy Scout camp, and he started blowing himself. He was blowing himself at Boy Scout camp.
Not what I figured. Not what I figured. Like, I was at Boy Scout camp. My counselor came in, and mine was even bigger than his.
Yeah, no. Ron used to suck his own horn.
Yeah, well, who hasn't?
But when he told his dad, he's like, "Dad, I can suck my own penis. Is that normal?" And his dad's like, "No, it's not." So like, I love the fact that his dad had to sit him down as like a 10-year-old.
His dad gets out the whiteboard and starts doing physics. He's like, I don't know. Let's find out.
Is this in the Kama Sutra?
I need to see because I can't understand that.
Oh, I found that one too.
No. Can you send the pic you saw? Because I can't understand how that's possible. Also, very gay, so don't have a lot of experience.
Let me screen share.
But I mean, is it gay though? Because like I was thinking about that too. I'm like, jerking off, I don't find gay. But if I had another guy jerk me off, that would be gay. But sucking your own dick.
No. I said I'm very gay, so I don't have a lot of experience in this.
I'm like,
yeah, no, but it does beg the question.
Or are you just a narcissist?
Yeah, it's it's a fine line, right?
It's definitely narcissism. It's like, I can do this, so I will. I'll get into it a little bit more.
Okay. Question to you two gentlemen who have willies: if you could do it, would you do it?
That's the ultimate question. Would I probably I jerk off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I could, I probably would.
I don't think so. If you have someone else that'll do it for you, mate.
That's the question. Is sucking your dick more like getting your dick sucked or more like sucking a dick? I don't know.
Yeah, you know I think it's more like sucking a dick. I don't know.
Exactly. Like, I don't know. I would try it for sure.
There's work involved in that. Like, there's some gymnastics.
You have to do your stretches first.
All right, Bo, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Show me.
Okay, it's coming.
Patreon's gonna love us for today.
Oh.
I'll blank that out for Patreon.
I'm just glad that my picture with Ron didn't come up in like the Google search right beside that. Like,
oh fuck! How is that possible? Where are his ribs?
He had them removed so he could eat more ribs.
That's a good joke.
Fuck.
I don't understand that. Has someone done a study on his ability to do that? Because he's not fat, but he doesn't look like a contortionist.
He is fat now, but back then he wasn't.
I need to know. Can contortionists do that?
But in the 70s, he wasn't.
Oh, for sure.
He's big now.
I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know this. He's fat as fuck now. He's a little fat fuck. But I'm pretty sure he could probably still do it because he's that much of a hungry fuck.
No, he can.
Like, he's sitting in it. Oh,
yeah,
God.
his hog's massive.
I saw those too. Unrelated, I've watched a number of documentaries where many men can do that. So,
documentaries?
I imagine it takes some practice. I honestly, I think you limber up over time.
Yeah, you don't just wake up one day and
dude, you have a kid. They're like Jello. They can just bend all kinds of weird fucking ways because their bones aren't finished yet.
Once he learned how to do it, he probably just kept it up. It's like if you can learn how to do the splits as an 8-year-old, you could probably keep that up if you just do the splits every day. So he probably sucking his dong every day for 45 years and just there you go.
I could probably do it, but just because you got such a long tongue.
You'd have to really commit.
So anyways, at this point, Ron's still clinging to his theater dreams. He got the whole Playboy thing. It's kind of dying down.
Yeah, that's because his grandma's making money off it now.
Yeah, but he only lasts a month before he calls his buddy back and's like, okay, fine, I'll be in your porn.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, you twisted my arm.
Well, he'd already quit as being a teacher by then, so he was just working as a maitre d', and it's like...
Oh, he quit? Did he? The Center for the Blind and Retarded. Well, I guess they're blind, so they wouldn't have seen Playground.
Yeah, you're right.
he this is 1979. The first film was called The Tigress and Other Man-Eaters with Samantha Fox. Now when he tells the story about his first time he did porn, he says that they spent an hour on my makeup, but they never showed my face. And I'm like, yeah, but when they're choosing between your fucking hedgehog face and like your dick, like obviously it's porn. They made the right choice, man. Stop telling that story. You got a hog, you know what I mean?
You've got a hog.
He also told everyone that his first time in that first porn, he couldn't do it. Like it was really hard for him because he didn't realize there's like a crew of 15, 20 people all watching you. Fuck, right? He just showed up like, I got a big dick, I can do this, but it's hard. So the first day he kept talking about how he had to go run upstairs where they had fluff girls. I don't know if you guys know what a fluffer is.
Yeah.
Bo knows. It's just girls they have off camera that like in a private room they'll like suck you off a bit to get you hard so you can run down in front of the camera. So he told that story a lot. Now I had to go see the fluffers. But yeah, so the first in 1979 he got like 8 or 9 films into him. And he wanted to use this as a stepping stone. He's still convinced I'm going to get into the mainstream. I'm just going to do this for a little while. Then I'll get out of the porn, whatever.
That's what they all say, man.
Hey, it's worked for other people. Like Sylvester Stallone started off in porn. Before
That's
Rocky,
true.
he was in porn and was able to somehow parlay into
But I think
real pictures.
I think he's a separate story though, because he did one porn.
Yeah. Ron
was started doing them every weekend, being like, "This is a stepping stone." Like, dude, one movie maybe. And he was also like very convinced that all these guys that were directing porn films were doing mainstream films too. So if they like my acting in these films, they'll put me in one of their mainstream gigs too.
But they're not seeing your face.
To a point. Like it was more of a movie back then, right? Like it was filmed and it was shown in movie theaters. It's not like it turned into VHS like in the late 80s, but you played in movie theaters. So you'd have a plot. A lot of there's one I forget what it was called, but there was one of them that Ron was in. It was like a fucking period piece from World War II. And he's like the ace pilot shooting down Nazis. And he's just like acting like for 10 minutes, and then he gets out of the plane and just goes like, "You're such a hero." He's like, "Yeah, just let's fuck." Like that's how. But there was, he's fine. He's not great, but I mean, he's good. He's good enough. Like,
yeah, no, but I mean, like, was he good? Was he a good actor?
Like, fine, like not great. He's no fucking like he's not method acting. He's just a guy.
I'm not here for a history lesson. Get your dick out.
Well, I want to know. Maybe it would have been a stepping stone if he was a better actor.
I'm gonna say he's not that great because he didn't really get to do the stepping stone much. Like, yes, but no.
Yes, because he has a huge dick. Why would anybody want to take on that when he's already going to make a bucket ton? Like they can see that he's going to make a bucket ton with his dick, not his face.
He had a huge dick for the time, though. I mean, now with the freedom of everybody to put naked videos of themselves on the internet, he ain't shit. Yeah. And they can act.
Yeah. So we'll talk about his nickname for a second here. 1979, like that first year, he got the nickname the Hedgehog. It's not because he's a short, fat hair rock like I thought. That's what I thought it was. It was given to him by fellow porn star named William Margold. So Ron flew to California from New York, and he thought, "Oh, it's California. It's going to be beautiful." So he just wore like a fucking tank top and some shorts and some flip flops. And when he gets to California, he had a motorcycle, I guess, there, and he had to ride a motorcycle to the shooting location. When they're driving on the motorcycles to get there, it starts snowing. And as he's going, it gets worse and worse. It turns into a blizzard. They got there as fast as they could. They got to the shooting location as fast as they could. Ron was fucking freezing. So as soon as he got there, they said, "Get in the hot shower, warm up so you don't freeze to death." And then when he gets out of the shower, his skin was all pink from the temperature extremes, and his body hair was all sticking out on end. And Margold turns to him and says to Ron, "You are a hedgehog, my friend, a walking, talking hedgehog." And it stuck. That's because of his little pink skin.
He does look like he has gloriously smooth skin in that photo behind you.
That's gloriously, yeah, okay.
No, his face. I'm sure it's photoshopped, but like he does look like he's got like glorious face skin there.
I got you. I thought you meant his chest, which is covered in hair, and I was like, okay. No. 1980, Ron goes on Wheel of Fortune. using his name Ronnie Hyatt. And he wins a trip to Mazatlan or whatever. It's in Mexico. And back then in the 80s, like that, Wheel of Fortune was different than it is now. You didn't win prizes. You won a bunch of money. And then at the end, you could like buy your prize.
Oh.
So Ron used his money to buy the trip to Mexico. Then he wanted to buy another prize, but he didn't have enough money. So Chuck Woolery, who was the host back then, gave him the bad news. Like, dude, you don't have enough money. So Ron walks up to the hostess at the time, Susan Stafford, saying, I quote, I have other ways I could pay for it. So he just goes up and he sexually harasses the Vanna White of the show.
Holy shit.
Chuck Woolery's like, ha, 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 and he makes like a weird awkward joke and they cut to commercial. But that was him on Wheel of Fortune, just sexually harassing the fucking side lady.
So there's the starting point.
Oh, for sure. I bet you it started
of of the evidence trail anyway.
For sure. For sure. But he remained famous for years. But okay, I didn't really realize this. During this time, like Ron's making a shit ton of films, but between 1972 and 1988, filming porn in California was highly illegal. Ron had been arrested a bunch of times while making porn. Like making the movies was illegal.
They get the handcuffs for his cock.
Yeah, they just cuff his dick. So yeah, making the movies was illegal. Having them wasn't. It was like prostitution. All right. So if you performed an X-rated film, it was the same as being a prostitute. And if you were one of them making the films, like if you're paying the actors to be in it, you were like a pimp. So you're like pimping. So in 1988, the Supreme Court of California basically legalized pornography in their state. The case is called People versus Freeman. I'm not going to get into it. All the particulars, I'll just give you the quick rundown. Basically, Harold Freeman was arrested for pimping for the adult movies he was producing, and they brought it right to the Supreme Court fighting it. And then Freeman's defense team used this as their defense. Under supervision, many illegal things are filmed and not considered illegal anymore. Like fighting is illegal. Like getting in a fight with someone is highly legal. But if you make some rules, put some gloves on and sell tickets and film, it becomes a boxing match. Or like drag racing, can't drag race, but for a movie you can film it, and cop watches it, it becomes legal. So that's what their argument was, and it effectively made porn legal in California. As long as it was regulated and filmed, it's protected under the First Amendment.
Thank God.
Thank you, God.
America.
So, yeah, America paving the way to porno for the rest of us. Actually, I'm going to do one day I'm going to do a YouPorn episode because that guy just killed the porn industry, and he's Canadian.
Attaboy.
We'll talk about it. So the Hedgehog made many more films. A lot of producers of the adult film industry of that time called him a woodsman, which was like, what the fuck is a woodsman? And woodsman means that he was able to stay hard as long as they wanted him to, and he could come on cue. So they could literally go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he would shoot his load every time. And it would be like 5, give him a second or 2, 4, like it would constantly every time shoot his load whenever he wants. So that's what a woodsman is.
Why is it called a woodsman?
It's hard as a wood, I guess. I don't know. You control it. I don't fucking know.
You're being a marksman, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're really good with your tool. You know exactly how to execute.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
If you mean horribly disgusting, yes.
You're not wrong. He's a gross human. But he is a Guinness Book of World Records holder for most appearances in adult film. He's done 2,572 pornographic films, including ones with such names as Debbie Does Dallas 2, Super Horny Brothers. That's the Super Mario Brothers parody porn.
Nice.
John Wayne Bobbitt. He did the John Wayne Bobbitt porn film called John Wayne Bobbitt Uncut.
So dumb.
The first porn I ever saw was in my dad's dresser. Was called I Dream of Christy, which was a I Dream of Jeannie parody where Ron Jeremy was the star of. So first porn for me was Ron Jeremy.
And Christy related.
Yeah. Christy Canyon. It's not the same Christy, but a good Christy nonetheless.
Well, she is 700,000 years old, so it could have been.
He's directed another 285 porno films. And he's an ugly fucker. I'll admit to it. I even wrote it here. He's an ugly fucker. Everyone knows it. He even knows it. Okay. There used to be a joke in the porn industry that some kinkier acts people would not perform would be bestiality, sadomasochism, and having sex with Ron Jeremy. And everyone would go, ha, 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 ha. And Ron would probably walk away like, I still got a 10-inch dick. Like that. You know what I mean? He'd probably be insulted by it, but that's what everyone said.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I talked to Lisa Ann, she was saying Ron's on her do not fuck list.
I bet you lots of people are.
I think so. I think he's amassed a reputation.
Yeah. But that being said, he's been in all sorts of mainstream things too. Like he's been in music videos for bands like Guns N' Roses, Kid Rock, LMFAO, Moby.
What Guns N' Roses video is he in?
I don't know what it is. He's in one though.
I'm trying to think because like I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan. I've seen every one of their videos. I cannot remember what one Ron would be in. Huh. Yeah. Well, there's my homework.
Ron, I could tell you. I can look it up in 2 seconds. I just didn't write it down.
I mean, he's such a staple of LA, so it makes sense.
Ron actually released a rap song in 1995.
Yes,
with a guy named DJ Polo.
The only thing he's ever rapped.
Good.
Yeah. It actually hit the charts at 95th on the pop charts and the hip hop charts at 95, and it's called Freak of the Week. I would play it for you, but we will get fucking screwed over by Interpol because it has everyone in it. Like fucking Dr. Dre's in the video, I'm pretty sure. Like they have all sorts of people that are just like, "Are you the freak of the week?" It's really bad.
By Interpol? What?
Whatever they're called. You made me second guess myself, but I think that's the label.
Oh, it's musically. I was like Interpol, like the
the
government,
the international.
Yeah. So did I.
Ron's been on TV, including Chappelle Show, Family Guy, The Surreal Life, where I'm sure he fucked Tammy Faye Messner, ex-wife of disgraced fraudster televangelist Jim Baker.
Everyone's fucked Tammy Mae fraudster.
Tammy Mae fraudster. Yes.
No, it's you should. It's really funny to me that he actually, like, if you watch them talk, it's just like, this is a fucking super religious lady and Ron Jeremy, and they're like flirting the whole time. He fucked her for sure. There's no way.
Maybe that's why he's so popular. Every time you fuck Ron Jeremy, you see God.
Maybe. Me too. Even me. I don't want to.
Me too, for sure. Anytime you fuck Ron Jeremy, there's a me too.
There's a hashtag in front of that. Ron's also been in Hollywood movies. When it comes to movies, he's either like a D-list trash movie or like B-list cameos as himself. The biggest thing I ever think I saw him in was Boondock Saints. I think he has like 17 minutes of playtime, which is pretty good. Ron's also an author. He wrote an autobiography named Ron Jeremy, the hardest working man in showbiz. But it's funny though, because like the cover, the hardest is like a giant font, and like the workings in like a super small font. So from far away, it looks like it just says he's the hardest man in showbiz. Get it?
Yeah,
I get it. Star.
Got him.
I'm here for it. It's the best. Erotic autobiography.
Oh fuck yeah, that was a good one too. That was a good line. Autobiography, more like autoerotic biography.
It's still funny.
Yeah, so but porn's obviously what he's mostly famous for. Like everything else is just seeped from his porn. Like he was listed #1 porn star of all time on AVN's list of top 50.
Hard disagree.
I don't know. Well, give me, like, he's got name recognition. What other porn star? You said John Holmes earlier. Somebody said John Holmes. Sure.
Peter
what other
North.
name recognition?
I think that's his name. Peter North.
But okay.
Way
Is that
better.
name recognition though.
Way better
at porn
star.
for sure. Way better at porn, but
Celeste, you seem to have a really firm opinion on who's good. John Holmes was like it was him and Ron Jeremy kind of neck and neck for a lot of that like time frame, I believe. North, I don't know how he's been around a long time though. How long has he been around?
Oh, ages. A few decades.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he's way better than Ron Jeremy.
Yeah, the lady knows what porn she likes, all right?
She's allowed to. It's 2022.
I like babysitter porn. He does a lot of that.
Okay.
he sits on babies. No? Okay.
I'm respectfully backing out of this conversation.
That'd be like a
Happens.
tree falling on a baby. Or Jack.
I just
The woodsman.
I think woodsman.
There we go. The golf club. This is excellent.
Yeah, so Ron's made a name for himself. Even in 2001, there's a documentary made about Ron called Porn Star, The Legend of Ron Jeremy. Now, I think his fame comes from because he looks like a fat fuck like me and can bang out the hottest of chicks. But like,
Also, like,
I don't know. That's the
Yeah.
I guess I'm the podcast version of Ron Jeremy minus the sexual assaults. Awesome.
It's not my fault. Your wife is so fucking hot. She's so
Hey.
hot, Richard.
I'm standing by my statement, Richard. You don't talk about yourself like that. You are the handsomest. Oh, I was about to say man, but we've got Tyler here, and that's
I bet your
offensive.
wife. Yeah, she's hot. You got it, dude. You got it. That's why you're staying up there, right?
My kids listen to the podcast, and Oscar's listening. He's like, Celeste really thinks mom's hot, eh? Because they say it so often.
She is a specimen.
Richard's wife is don't chase your own dreams hot. I'll stay put. I'll stay put.
Richard's wife is change your last name hot. Stay at home dad hot.
Yeah, I used to be Richard Moza. I took her last name. Yeah, so I don't know. It's the mentality. Like whenever I was watching any of stuff on Ron Jeremy, the guys that were talking about him were like, Ron Jeremy's my hero, and like you can fuck all the girls. Like the guy looking like that. It's like, dude, I don't think you know how porn works. You know what I mean?
They get paid.
no- yeah, I don't think
the women are paid to be there. You
Yeah.
don't understand this.
he's got a giant
So
dick.
is he. So is he.
Yeah, yeah, no, he's hired, but he's only hired because he has a giant dick. And it's most of these girls don't want to fuck Ron. There's no fucking way. They did it for money, and they did it because, like, as his fame grew, their fame would grow. Like, I heard a bunch of girls say, like, "Oh, I got called to do fuck Ron Jeremy," and I said, "Yeah, because he's been in the business for a long time." So they're just trying to advance their careers by fucking Ron near the end of it, right?
And they're also still trying to get into theater school, so there's that, you know.
Right. Yeah, no. They're tired of working at the Center for the Blind and Retarded. So.
It's like the hockey fighter, the young hockey fighter trying to take on the old gunslinger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, if I had $1.
Yeah, as Ron gets older, he starts to like diversify a little bit with his money, and he starts getting into business. Like he starts doing businessy shit, which I find was
Where I thought that was going.
I thought that was going somewhere. So I thought you
I
would
was
be
like, this is how he
Oh.
breaks into the lesbian porn industry. I get it.
yeah. No, he moved into black and white dungeon German porn and like really artsy stuff. You know, got into the French art industry. You know, really diversified his portfolio. You know, a little flower right over the eye, and some
No,
background music, a violin, that sort of stuff.
he would do that
This is
anyway.
the full circle
Does
story.
anything.
Back to Ron Hyatt again.
Yeah. Just looking pensively out a bay window while sitting there with a croissant. Yep.
And his dick out.
Yep.
I think it would be a bagel.
Baguette. A baguette, yeah.
What he does, he's still doing porn the whole time. And plus, there's so many porns where he'll do anything. Like you see there's some where he's wearing like a dick costume and like he's fucking a girl. Okay, there's one that I was laughing a lot. He was like close up on just his fucking top shoulders. He's like, I got a big dick and I'm a private eye. If I would keep my privates on my eye instead of my eye and my privates, I'd probably get more. And then it like pans out and he's just banging a girl as he's saying this like monologue thing. Like he'll do anything. There's like a thing where a girl's like, do you want me to save up some piss for you and piss on you? He's like, nah, save it up. Why not? Like weird shit. Ron's got all sorts of fucked up porn. Don't worry about that. He's already doing that. He doesn't need to diversify his porn, is what I'm saying. He's doing it all.
I respect it. I respect someone who would like give anything a go. Good on him.
Yeah,
He's a private dick.
he's sucking his own dick. He's gone far now. He's gone way off the bat with that. So don't worry about that. In 2009, Ron Jeremy and his business partner Paul Smith opened up a swingers nightclub called Ron Jeremy's Club Sesso in Portland, Oregon, which I find a weird place to open a sex club for Ron.
That's
Jeremy.
a terrible name. It reminds me of Club Cesspool, which is probably what it was.
Yeah.
Probably should have been named that. Maybe that's what he said, but people just didn't hear him correctly. Club Cesspool, like Sesso. Okay.
Yeah, Cesso sounds good.
Yeah. It's got a ring to it.
It's probably hard to understand him with his dick in his mouth. Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Club Cesspool. Club Cesspool.
Cecil? All right, we're in.
Yeah. So the club's pretty successful for a few years, and then they start doing some upgrades on the building. And then on June 2014, during their 5-year anniversary party, the fire inspector determines that the club is in violation of a bunch of city codes. So the fire marshal overturns the order, because I'm guessing he goes there. And then he says, but there was nothing that he could have done to prevent the eventual end of Club Cesspool. Cesspool lasted just another year and a day until it closed due to legal fees amassed over the year of litigation over the contested violations of the city code. So it's since reopened if anyone wants to go. It just has different owners. Ron also got involved with the marketing and creation of Ron de Jeremy, which is a spiced rum. Spiced rum, because apparently in the Caribbean, rum is just like Ron. So they've approached him and they call it like adult rum, or rum that's Ron style.
Adult rum?
Yeah.
Not for kids.
Not for kids. It's not like the average rum.
This spiced rum's not for your kids. All of this to say, basically, Ron had it all. For what he wanted, he got into the mainstream. He didn't really get into like a Spielberg movie. He kept bitching about he's not in a Spielberg movie. Like, dude, you got enough. You got lots. Ron had a few health problems. I'll get that right off the bat. January 2013, Ron drove himself to Mount Sinai Hospital complaining of chest pains. He had an aneurysm, and he had to have surgery the next day. He was home 3 weeks later, didn't die. He should have died that day, I say, because then his life and legacy would have been saved. Everyone would have been like, poor Ron Jeremy's dead. Nope. So guess what happens in 2017?
Everyone suck a dick in a minute's silence of dick sucking for Ron Jeremy.
Suck your own dick, and if you can't suck yours, suck your partner's.
Suck someone's dick.
So then this is where I guess after he had his little heart attack and stuff, this is where the roast came into play. I got a couple questions about the roast. Was there like rumors and shit of him being like a predator when you got involved in that project, or was
not at all? Like, not that we had heard of at all. He was the legend. And he was definitely one of those guys was like, it made total sense to do a roast of Ron Jeremy, because he was like, in his field, he was viewed as the GOAT. And the price tag was right, the whole thing. And there's just so many jokes to be made. It's just perfect. He's not, like at the time, he wasn't, he was a degenerate, but not that type of degenerate. Like, he didn't have like criminal shit.
He's a porn star.
He's a porn star. He's associated with like everything, like LA, like all these Hollywood people know him. He's a staple. He's a porn institution at that point. And it made total sense to roast him. And then when we book the roast, we always look like, okay, you book the main guy that you're roasting, which people are going to turn up for, because he is like this legend in his field. But then you look at like, who's the actual like side target that's going to be that everyone's hammering on. Like when they did the Pamela Anderson roast, Courtney Love was that side target. You always have that side person that everyone's really ripping on. And we had Dustin Diamond Screech from Saved by the Bell. And it was so perfect because he made a porn too, and it was just so lackluster. And then there's just so much to rip on. And then we had Lisa Ann, the porn star, on it. and then we had some like really wicked comedians before they even like blew up. They're doing pretty good at the time, but
Like Schulz is on it.
Andrew Schultz is the biggest who's on that. Yeah, like he
No,
blew
that's
up.
Ron Jeremy.
Who's the biggest on that? Is Ron Jeremy.
Oh yeah,
probably.
yeah. Oh yeah, Rock and Ronnie's got a huge hammer for sure. But like comedian wise, yeah, Schultz blew up, and then there was it was just it was a really good show in terms of like I think the jokes that were happening on it were pretty hard ass compared to what Comedy Central's doing.
Is this for sale somewhere? Like if people want to go watch it, can they go watch it?
Not right now, but like we do sometimes do screenings of it. We're working on a thing. We're gonna do the Curse of the Ron Jeremy roast because there's just so much bad shit that's happened around the project, and so much bad shit happened like afterwards to everyone involved.
Did he? Nothing bad happened that night though. The roast.
Nothing bad happened that night. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we definitely were around Ron getting consensual sex from people. It was very bizarre. Like we're sitting. This is one of the weirdest ones. So we're all hanging out in the green room before the show, like before the roast, and it's a small green room. I'm talking. I couldn't even. It's so small. There's no way that this happened. And we're just standing there eating pizza, drinking beers, all the comics kind of hanging out. And Ron comes walking in. There's like a bathroom stall right in the green room. And he walks up with this female porn star that she came to the show and she wanted to hook up with Ron. And he brings her into the green room, into the bathroom stall, closes the door, and they proceed to have sex in the stall. While we're all sitting there, like eating pizza, drinking, like we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And so I'm telling you, like all the comics were just in the room hanging out. It's a small room, and you know when something like whack happens, you look at your friend, and and you're like, what the fuck? You have that what the fuck moment.
Yeah.
So I knew my life was out of control. I look over, and my what the fuck moment was with Dustin Diamond Screech from Saved by the Bell. We're both looking at each other like, what the fuck, dude?
I mean, he could have at least asked people for an invite. Like, that's rude.
Oh, Ron's rude as fuck. Like, he showed up. I don't know what was up with him. Like, I don't think he's like a drug addict, but like, he seemed so pilled out. And
yeah.
Dustin Diamond's there, and like he just put out his porn, and he thinks this is fucked up. So that happened before the roast, and then like when Ron, when Ron's dick is out in that situation, like that's like clear and present danger. Like you feel like you're. I was like John Voight in the fucking movie Anaconda, like Ice Cube's gonna pop out. There's snakes out there this big. Point to your scar. And then like at any moment, Ron could have just taken his cock and thrown it over that stall and snatched the pizza out of your hand like a bad dangerous situation, But on that roast, like Ron wasn't even like the main target. Ron was just like, there's a bunch of funny jokes about Ron having a huge dick, blah blah blah. Like that's like all it was. But then, like Dustin Diamond, we heard he was like an asshole because he had like a bad reputation for a bit as a real asshole. And so we were just like, oh, we gotta crank it up on Dustin Diamond. Like, let's get this guy to fucking snap. So we're in full bully mode, and we just tune up Dustin Diamond. If you watch my set on the roast, you can see that like I really crank up on Dustin. Like I hit Dustin harder than Ron for sure. And Dustin was so cool about it. He's like the nicest guy the entire time. Like I couldn't believe how nice he was. I was like, oh fuck, I'm feeling bad, right?
When you've gone too far.
But his reputation did suck coming in. But it seemed like he was kind of like maybe turning a corner in his life.
How ironic that you thought Ron was the good guy and Dustin Diamond was the bad guy.
I know that's true. Now a month later, I turn on the TV and I hear like today in Milwaukee, Dustin Diamond just stabbed 3 people. He was arrested. So I feel like I contributed a little bit to that. But,
he actually stabbed someone.
that's like
Did he
actually my
stab
biggest
someone?
credit. I made Dustin Diamond stab 3 people. Yeah, in Milwaukee. I'll say
Wow.
I gotta say I thought Dustin got dealt a fucking bad hand on that one. But Dustin got a bad hand on the Milwaukee thing. It's him with his girlfriend in Milwaukee, and these guys. There's like 3 dudes, and I think they were kind of like harassing them. Like, I mean, Screech is such a target. You know, drunk guys are gonna be assholes for sure. He put up with that shit his whole life. He had to have felt like kind of threatened. He's never like done anything like that before. For him to like pull out a knife and like, there's no way he wasn't getting like
Just
cornered
snapped.
by these dudes. He's not. He's Dustin Diamond wasn't like an aggressor. Like
He's a
that's
little
not-
mini guy too. He's a little guy.
No. He was a tall dude, man. Dustin was a bigger guy actually. Like you would be surprised when you meet him. He's not short. He's actually
Really?
decent size and you know, I don't think he was a pussy. I mean, he won in celebrity boxing.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but Ron going back, Ron had this weird meltdown after the roast, which is so funny. He did this fucking terrible joke on the roast. Ron did not do any jokes that I wrote for him, and Dustin didn't do any jokes that I wrote for him either. They both bombed. And
Excellent.
Ron did this joke. It was the fucking worst. Oh, it's so bad. He's like, "Hey, who wants to see my cock?" Like everyone's cheering, and he pulls a rubber chicken out of his pants. Like just such a stupid fucking.
Oh
hack.
wow. We went carrot top on it.
Oh yeah, just totally hacked it up. It was so bad, and he was all like, I don't know what happened. He was like, seemed like disoriented that night, and he dropped the rubber chicken somewhere, and my buddy picked it up and like fucking stole the rubber chicken. And backstage, Ron had a huge meltdown because he couldn't find the rubber chicken. He's freaking out. It was a whole ordeal. It was this big thing, like rubber chicken gate backstage.
Did you guys give it back to him?
Yeah, I go to my buddy. I'm like, dude, you gotta give that fucking chicken back.
He's gonna kill someone.
It's getting fucking crazy back here. So he did give the rubber chicken back, but like I didn't make my friend give it back to him. I'm like, hey, look, I found this. Hey, I found it. You know what I mean? Like, not someone took it. Hey, here you go. Like he was having like a meltdown, full on.
Wow.
Most emotion I saw him show the entire time I met him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did he drink? Because he doesn't do drugs. I looked into all this. Did he drink though?
I don't think so. He was just very
Yeah.
weird.
He said he doesn't drink either, which I was like,
I feel a bit of that's bullshit. He seems so, I don't know what his deal was though. He seemed so glassy eyed when we met him. It was odd. He was an odd dude. I never had like any rapport with him. I took a couple selfies with him. It was fun, and then I instantly regret those after. Everyone you take a selfie with, they just all go down now. Eh? Fuck selfies.
well, that was 2015. You said
2015, yeah. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else like interesting that happened around that. After the roast, he also had sex with another chick in the green room, but not like a porn star. This like the girl he was with before was actually beautiful. The one that he had sex with after looked like if Ron Jeremy wasn't a porn star, who he would like totally be matched up with. Very
like
compatible. There's a
that's
couple
good.
of gargoyles bumping uglies. It was okay. Like, oh, it was something else.
That's actually refreshing, you know?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
actually a refreshing story.
Ron's like a tourist attraction though back then. Like people just know that, you know, the circus is in town. You can go on the big ride once a night and then it fucks off. Or once in a lifetime and then don't get to see it again.
So okay, well 2015 that's when that ends. Then there's 2017 rolls around. What happens in 2017? Do you guys remember?
Is that when Ron got busted?
That's the whole Me Too movement starts in 2017.
When Me Too hit, yeah, I mean I was fucking hiding.
Whoa!
Because of COVID. Because of COVID.
COVID happened in 2019.
What?
You're full of shit. You're a predator.
I have a few things to say before we move on. I'm sorry. I didn't say like anything, but I have a few things to say. One, Dustin Diamond, I had no idea who you were talking about. I finally looked him up because I was like, okay, he's just going to keep talking about this guy. So
Screech, yeah.
I was born in 93, man. I don't know. I don't remember any of that shit.
Disgusting.
Thanks.
You missed the college years?
We won't get into my college years. But anyway, I looked him up. The only thing that I know him from is his bit part in Dickie Roberts' former child star.
Okay, yeah. If you're born in 93, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I know him from.
But they're clearly referencing like who he was, like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. He's dead now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah, Dustin passed away.
So rip. The other thing is, honestly, listening to your story, it sounds like you guys were the problem and not Ron Jeremy. Because the very first thing I would do if Ron Jeremy was having sex in a room that I was in is I would make him come on command. I would be like, hey, Jeremy, 10, 9, 8.
Time's up.
He just comes. Why would you do that?
That'd be the first time he heard time's up. And
2017. Before 2017, though, there had been many rumors about Ron Jeremy being a predator, with many victims claiming that he had assaulted them.
Interesting.
Some allegations were decades old. No charges ever laid, and it was all in industry open secret. He was basically porn's Harvey Weinstein. People put up with his random assaults because of the success he was in the porn industry. They would excuse him always by saying, oh, that's just Ron. Like, he would come grab your tits and be like, oh, don't worry, that's just Ron. Ron just does that.
He's just a little gargoyle, man.
Yeah, you're right. He's like the clown prince of porn. Like, everyone just looked at him like a joke at that time. He was an old man. Just let him live his old man age. But some people like Ginger Banks in 2017, she didn't want to do it anymore. She's a porn star and webcam model, and she had her ass grabbed by Ron without her consent at a porn expo. So after that incident, she just goes to a couple of her other friends and her colleagues, and she goes, "Oh, I just got my ass grabbed by Ron, and he's fucking gross. Does he do what?" And they're like, yeah, he does that all the time. Join the club. That's basically what she got for the answer. Everybody, he does this to everybody. Ginger decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking call him out on this bullshit. YouTube's a thing. Me Too's rolling rampant right now. So she starts doing some research on Ronnie. And then she makes a 10-minute YouTube video outlining the many assaults Jeremy had allegedly committed over a span of 30 years. The video goes viral, and Ginger gets fucking hated on so hard it's unreal, because Ron Jeremy is beloved. All right, how dare you talk about my Ronnie in this manner? Stop talking about the Hedgehog.
Which is ridiculous, because he is clearly a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So like, if he is being accused of this by multiple people, like he has, and it does snowball. I mean, I'll let you go further with what you're.
So she does that, but also in addition to that, it's not long before other women are sharing their stories of Ron on Twitter and other social media platforms. So within days, Ron is banned from the AVN Awards for that year. Ron denies all allegations of rape. He publicly states in an email to Rolling Stone magazine that he may have been groping at porn expos, but that's all part of the gig. He claims that he was being groped by fans too. Like, I'm a victim here too. I'm getting groped. Okay, I'm groping, but I'm also getting groped.
He probably was, but
he probably was.
At the same end, yeah, that doesn't equate.
No, exactly.
It's like two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
This guy's like, if you guys are gonna grope me, you can grope my dick and I'll grope you.
He literally says, he's like, other porn stars are here to be flirty and gropey with each other and with the fans. This is our job. He literally calls himself in that email to Rolling Stone a groper. He's like, yeah, I'm a groper. It's my job.
Oh, I don't know.
So, yeah, he says, I'm sitting at a booth at the expo. They come up to see me. What did you expect it was going to happen? Okay?
A conversation.
No, selfie, you get groped. So what if you squeezed a tit or two while signing them? They wanted him to. That's what he's saying. And then he adds in the email, he's like, if I hurt anyone when I was groping them, it breaks, quote, it breaks my heart in half.
Full of shit. Yeah.
He also adds after that, as far as the rape, if those allegations continue, I will be suing them in court. So, dude, you didn't just grope titties while you're signing them. He would literally put his hands down girls' pants into their panties, finger them as they're posing a picture for him. Just hands down pants.
He thought the world was just a fucking smorgasbord. Like exactly. That's how he operated.
I just wanted to take a fucking picture and I got finger banged in public.
Yeah, exactly.
Dangerous game to be playing, man.
Yeah.
People tweeted about these allegations for years, but when Ginger put out the 10-minute video, the slew of allegations kept coming in. A woman posted a video of her looking outraged while Ron was groping her at a 2016 porn expo she attended. It was captioned with, Ron Jeremy assaults people. I know this because he grossly groped me when I asked for a photo. I wanted a cute little selfie with him. Then he put his hand in my shirt because, quote, he wanted to see if I had cute nipples.
Did she?
Yeah.
All nipples.
Ron was disappointed.
All nipples are cute.
All nipples are cute.
I don't know about that.
No, I've seen some baloney fucking plates.
Have you heard Cardi B talk about her salami side nipples? She go, I got my salami side nipples, got my titties out. They look like a salami. I fucking loved it. Cardi B's funny. Anyway.
Ginger would continue to highlighting her and other women's allegations, even with Ron threatening lawsuits. Aside from being banned from most of the adult film award shows and events and expos and stuff like that, these allegations pretty much disappeared for Ron until June 24th, 2020, when then 67-year-old Ron was officially charged by the LADA with raping 3 women and sexually assaulting another between the years of 2014 and 2017. Ron was accused, and I guess he still is, of forcibly raping a 25-year-old woman at his home in West Hollywood in May 2014. Then he allegedly sexually assaulted 2 more women, ages 33 and 46, one separate occasion at a West Hollywood bar in 2017 called the Rainbow Bar and Grill, where a lot of these assaults end up actually happening. It's at this Rainbow Bar and Grill.
Oh, just partying there.
Were you actually?
Me and O'Gorman went there.
Well, he was friends with the owners and he had access to like the staff bathroom. That's what Ron's here. He can go back there.
It's an LA staple. It's like a classic rock bar.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ron would lure women to the washroom saying like, I can go to the good washroom. Come with me, with promises of a restaurant tour. So he'd be like, come check out the restaurant. I'll bring you to the washroom. And when they get to the bathroom in the back, he would block their exit and force himself on them. Ron is also accused of raping a 20-year-old woman at the same bar and the same way in July 2019. So the DA also said they had another case from 2016 they didn't pursue because of insufficient evidence. So they're already hammering down on him pretty hard with 4 allegations right off the top. Almost right after his arrest, Ron tweeted, I am innocent of all charges. I can't wait to prove my innocence in court. Thank you, everyone, for the support. I find this fucked up. Dude, you can't wait for this? You're excited to be in court to talk about this? Is going to be fun for you, Ron? I think this is going to be shitty. The shittiest thing that's ever happened to you. You piece of shit.
You piece of shit.
Getting roasted by me couldn't have been easy either.
Yeah. But yeah, getting roasted by a fucking federal judge looking at jail time's a little scarier, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, if I knew he was a rapist, could you imagine how good I would have roasted him?
Oh, yeah, that would have been bad for him.
He'll be fine. He could just bring out his old rubber chicken joke. The judge will be like, you rascal. Get out of here.
Hey, it was this cock.
How do you rape someone with this? At this point, all right, we're 2020 right now. At this point, if he's convicted of all charges, he could have been facing 90 years in prison. So in July 2020, Ron pleads not guilty to all 4 counts of assault and rape. Bail was set at $6.6 million. That's a good bail. That's the fuck you bail, you know?
Can he afford? Hang on. What's his financial situation at this point?
He can't.
Like
He couldn't afford to post bail. He had to stay in jail at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, which I was like, is that what they made in New York? Like, why is he in New York? But it's just different Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers Correctional Facility?
For sure, yeah.
Does he get 72 virgins? Like,
it's heated by jet fuel.
It's in LA, and it's the same place Robert Durst was before he died, and it's the same place holding the king of the rapers, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wonder if they ever talk, you know? And let me pose a question for you guys before I continue.
Ron could go mainstream.
Yeah, Ron finally got it.
He finally met the producer that can make him mainstream. There's the irony of it all.
If I would have just met you 20 years earlier, yeah. So I have a question before I continue. Who's a fatter and grosser human? Ron Jeremy or Harvey Weinstein? Let's talk about it for a second.
Their love child.
Oh God, imagine.
No, I don't know. Like, I'm learning about him now.
Right.
I mean, I think at least didn't Harvey Weinstein know he was a piece of shit? It feels like Ron doesn't feel like he's a piece of shit.
No, Ron doesn't even know what he's doing is wrong. That's the scary part about Ron. He doesn't even understand.
Ron just operates as if he's in this like vortex.
Yeah,
he's in a weird bubble.
Yeah,
I reckon from scale it'd be Harvey Weinstein, but from the fact that like at least Harvey Weinstein knows he's a piece of shit. This guy is just like adamant that he's not a piece of shit and that everything that he's doing is okay.
Ron was blind and retarded, so
no, he worked with the blind and retarded.
I thought he made them blind and retarded. Oh, you're gonna like his defense. All right, we'll get to it. About a month after his first hearing on August 31st, 2020, the LADA adds an additional 20 sexual assault counts onto the original 4.
Go, man, go!
Yes.
These 20 assaults are all on 12 different women and a teen girl, all dating back as far as 2004. That's right. I said teen girl, and I don't mean 18. I mean 15.
Oh, no. No.
2 months later, on October 28th, 2020, 7 more sexual assaults are added to the already outrageous number of 24, bringing them up to a whopping 31 charges of sexual assault and rape, spanning many years, now as far back as 1996, and a wide range of 21 different women, ages ranging from 15 to 56, from either the porn industry or
56.
not.
56? Well, at least he's not picking a type, I guess.
Well, no, maybe the 56-year-old was 19. No one, maybe that one was 1996, because at the time she was younger.
Yeah, she would have been 30.
Or in his age range. Yeah.
Not only that, so I'm going to say that again, though, just real quick. One of them's a 15-year-old. Not only that, LADA,
we get it.
It's disgusting. He's a disgusting human. Not only that, the LADA had 14 more charges they wanted to charge him with, but they passed the statute of limitations, so they had to be declined by the. So he would have been up to like almost 50. The next day, on October 29th, Ron is in court again, pleading not guilty to all the new allegations against him. During the gap between this and the next part, a grand jury is assembled to determine if there's probable cause to bring him to trial. The grand jury took testimony from over 20 women, and by mid-August, they had made their decision. So on August 19th, 2021, Ron Jeremy is finally indicted on the 34 charges of sexual assault, 12 of them rape charges, involving 21 women. Once again, one of them a 15-year-old. He allegedly assaulted and or raped during the past 2 decades. At this hearing, they set a date for the jury trial, and it was supposed to begin at the end of February 2022 and last for 4 to 6 weeks. The court actually called them into another hearing on December 1st, 2021. At this hearing, Ron had looked deteriorated, like he looked fucking messed up. He rolled in a wheelchair, handcuffed, wearing his prison jumpsuit. His hair is all long and white now. He's got a big, long, white, disgusting beard. He's wearing a mask. He looks like death. He looks like shit. He's nothing. I don't know if he's been dyeing his hair, or if he just like prison finally got to him, or he talked to Weinstein, like, you think you're a good raper, and he just like sucked the life out of him. Like, I'm the best raper there is. There can only be one, like a Highlander.
You need some tennis balls for your walker.
So yeah, this hearing was to inform Ron that and the defense team that the trial would have to be pushed back a bit longer because of all the backlog due to COVID-19. He only spoke once during that hearing, was to say yes when asked by Judge Lomelli if he understood that the jury trial would start on May 2nd, 2022, instead of February, and it would last 4 to 6 weeks. So at that hearing, an unidentified woman interrupted the court to say that it's inhumane to have Ron still locked up. She like fucking did the whole dramatic like TV show thing. He said, let him go, free Ron Jeremy. No one would figure out who she was. She like ran out before bailiffs could get a hold of her. She accused the lawyers of dragging out the hearings. It's inhumane to have him in there because he's been in jail since June 20th, 2020, because he can't afford the bail. So he's been just sitting in jail. And he's being housed at the medical ward. He looks fucked. And then they requested another hearing to be held on March 18th, 2022. This was to address Jeremy's defense team's request to separate the case into 21 separate trials. They didn't want to have it all lumped into one. They want to have it into 21 trials. So
what benefit would that give?
So I think it's actually kind of smart from my perspective.
Burden on the court system?
Exactly. First, that's one. Second one would be like, if he gets off on one or two, then the defense could start going like, see, look how much time you're wasting by doing these. You might as well just drop the court cases. Stop doing this.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So you try and get the ones that he has a stronger defense for first, and then just start calling everyone wasting money, wasting tax money, wasting money, wasting money. Yeah. That hearing was scheduled for March 18th, 2022. Before addressing the judge, though, at that hearing, a request was made by Ron's defense team to evaluate the competency of Ron Jeremy to stand trial. His lawyer, Stuart Goldfarb, told the judge that before the hearing, he went Goldfarb. Yeah, it's good last name. He told the judge that before the hearing, he went to meet his client in the courtroom holding cell, and Ron didn't even recognize him. The bailiff also agreed. He said, I don't know what's wrong with Ron, but he is fucked back there. So he's acting funny. I don't know what to do. So 6 weeks before trial, Judge George Lomelli puts the trial on pause and orders a psychiatric exam of Ron Jeremy to determine if he is actually fit for trial. On July 27th, 2022, he's determined not fit to stand trial by the defense hired psychiatrist. They haven't gotten the prosecution side out yet. So right now, the trial is in limbo while they wait for the state's expert to determine his competency. I did see the date October 3rd bantied around as the day the evaluations should be in, but I haven't seen any new news since July. So it doesn't look good that these women will ever get justice. And Ronnie Boy will probably die in a psychiatric facility in the Twin Towers thing while they wait. So that's kind of.
Do you think he's legitimately do you think there's legitimacy to his fuckedness?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
He just seems so fucking out of it when I met him. And if he doesn't do drugs or drink, there's something so off.
Right.
And it seemed like he was chemically imbalanced at least, like for some, I don't know. It was strange when I met him.
That's why I quizzed you if he's drinking or not, because I was watching a few podcasts he was on, and he was like really fucked up, like trying to talk to this guy, and he wasn't drinking or anything. He just was like saying non sequiturs and stuff like that. So I think for the last like 5 or 6 years of his life, he's been walking around some sort of dementia or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I do think it's real, and I think it's legit. If you look at his photos, like that sells it to me too. The photos look terrible. I could pop one up and I could show you right now.
Yeah, he's out of his, like, he's not in his right mind. I don't.
He never was. He never had a right mind. I don't think.
Yeah, he a bad boy. He looks so much more dangerous with the mask.
Oh
too.
Shit!
He looks like Bane from fucking Batman.
Yeah,
yeah, he does.
This is like Con Air when they bring in Steve Buscemi. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a year difference though. This was Ron like a year before. Like that's what he was looking like in his first part of his trial, like the first hearing. And then like this is the fucking hearing to see if they can separate into two.
Yeah, I haven't
seen
that.
Look at his eyes.
He straight up looks he looks like Saddam Hussein when they pulled him out of the fucking hole.
Yeah, he does for sure.
That's a
Jesus
big change in a
Christ.
year.
It's a huge change in a year. So I don't know if it's because he was like he had handlers helping him out get from place to place, or I don't know. I honestly, it's a good question, Bo, because it would be a great defense. He's only 69 years old. It's not like he's like super old, but
69. Ron's gonna do the Santa Claus porn. He just like throws his dick down the chimney and slides down his own cock. Gonna stuff some stockings.
Wow. That's crazy. I wonder what do we know what the psychologist said was wrong with him?
They brought it to court just saying he's unfit. They didn't really release the actual evaluation yet, which is sad because I wanted to see both of them. I was like hoping I've been rating this episode for a little while, and I was hoping like something would pop up like today or yesterday or something, just so we could have like a really fresh update, but there's really nothing. Last update's in July, which is kind of sad. But yeah, no, I feel bad for all the women that had to deal with him, and then they don't even get like it fucking a couple years too late, you know? This guy's gonna fucking skate because he's crazy now, or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. That seems kind of like justice. He's only 69. And he's been in jail since he was like 67.
Yeah.
So that's only 2 years that he's deteriorated that hard.
But from what Tyler's
maybe it's because
saying,
he can't fuck anymore.
Maybe that's what his life source was.
That's true. I didn't even think of that. He just like recharged his batteries once a fucking hour.
Well, if it was like all he knew, he did it every single day, and then just to not anymore, maybe like all the synapses in his brain just shut down.
I feel like even the in jail he's well known, and the guys who would be like raping would be like, rape me with that thing, or I'll rape Ron Jeremy. So he's probably having sex. That's what I'm saying. He's signing titties in jail still.
He wouldn't have to. He could suck his own dick.
That's true.
That may be that too. Maybe he can't do that anymore. Maybe he's lost the flexibility with age.
Yeah, that's true. True.
Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, no, the hedgehog is fucked, and I
can't even suck my own cock anymore. I used to be something. I used to be somebody. Just driving around in a rascal scooter.
Finally lost my last few teeth, and I wanted to feel a gummer. Poor Ronnie, but I at the same time, poor all these women. Like, my God, people have been saying it for years. That's the other thing, is people had been saying it for years, and everyone just went, "That's just Ronnie." And like, fuck, I'm so glad that attitude's going away in a lot of ways, because like the predatory shit like that, just, I don't know. Like, imagine looking like Ron Jeremy or something. You just get the shitty reputation by looking like a dirtbag like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a guy like that being propped up for so long does not help. I mean, it's just, if he is doing what we all are pretty sure he was doing, the fact that he was enabled for so long, it's nice to see things turning around like that.
Yeah, he'll never be scrubbed though. Like, he'll always be a part of it. It's part, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you can't. He still has legacy. It's just, it's been tarnished at the end. But like, Ron Jeremy porn is going to exist forever. So he's not really getting fucked. Like,
can you separate the artist from the artwork?
Does he still have quite a fan base, like, that's trying to get him out?
Oh, for sure. I guarantee it.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a British crime documentary there, like, hitting me up about content. They wanted like footage from the roast for like their doc about Ron that's happening. But then I don't know, it kind of went sideways. I've never heard back from them.
As far as the like separate the artist from the art comment, like, that's one thing with like Bill Cosby, like, that's stand up and then rape,
and he's equally good at both.
I'm just saying that like rape and sex work are probably so close to each other. It's like you can't really separate them now. Like, it's the same. Like, who knows how? There's a video of him, apparently. Like, I haven't seen it. I was gonna look for it, but it's fucking too hard. There's too much Ron Jeremy out there. Where she literally goes, "Ron, don't put it in my ass." He goes, "Come on." She goes, "Don't do it. I don't want you to." He goes, "Come on." She goes, "Don't do it." And then he does it. And she looks pissed the whole time. He like does it on camera. You know?
Oh shit!
Wow,
That's how fucked this guy is.
Yeah, hiding in plain sight.
Wow.
Good thing the FBI always catches their man.
Good thing Interpol always catches their man.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked to see how much, to hear particularly what you're saying, Tyler, about seeing him in the flesh and how you would assume that he was on something, and then to see him have such a hardcore deterioration in a year. Like there is something going on there.
Yeah. Like this dude shows up. He showed up to this roast. I swear to God, he didn't even know that this roast was going on. He had no idea. He had like some shitty agent that was like repping him, and he had no idea what was happening. Shows up with like track pants and mustard stains on his fucking pants. He's like, what are we doing tonight? Like, dude, you're being roasted tonight. Like all these fucking amazing people, like all these wicked comedians have come in from all over, like LA, New York City, Sweden, like the best comedian, Sweden, Magnus Bettner's here. Like all these people are here to roast you, and he has no idea that he's like being roasted. Like, what are your like? Who's representing you that's allowing you to come in if you don't understand what's going on?
Yeah,
it was just so bizarre. And then he wanted his money in cash before the event, and like it was a whole thing. Like I gotta go to the fucking bank. I'm not even the producer at this point. Like I was just like kind of consulting producer, like, and then they're like saying they want the money before the event, but the tickets haven't, like, ticket money hasn't come in to pay him. Like, he got paid like a little bit of a deposit, I guess. Bottom line, I had to go to the bank and take out, like, I think it was like $7,000. I like take out and like pay Ron Jeremy cash before the thing just to save the show. The show was not happening. It was like the Ultimate Warrior holding up SummerSlam. Ron wasn't going on stage unless unless someone paid him. Like I think it was $7,000. He needed to get paid still before the show, and like camera team, like everyone's there, like the whole thing. Everyone is in town from all over to do this, and I'm like, well, and the producer at the time didn't have the cash, like the liquidity to do this. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna kill this roast. I just put a whole bunch of work into this. I'm like, I guess I'll I'll roll the dice on.
Like, okay, as much as we were joking about this and whatever, like, legitimately, do you think he was like mentally ill, or do you think it was just like he was on something?
I don't think he was on something. I think he might have been like just kind of deteriorating, and this is the early stages of it. I don't know. Like,
interesting. I never asked you about that before, so that's interesting because I didn't really know much
before, and it was weird. He was just off. You know what I mean? Like, I never had I've never felt like I had a human connection with this person the entire time.
Here's maybe a little talking point it's going to be awkward to say, but I'm saying it. Do you think this makes it a little bit sadder? Like, you just, in his life, that's all he did was go like finger bang girls and do this, and then he started deteriorating, and no one stopped him from doing this, but he was just sick and he didn't really know what he was doing. Is that, like, I know it's been for 30 years.
I think you know what? I think Ron's life is sad because he's sad and he made sad decisions, and if he was doing that before he had any mental illness or whatever, then that's brutal. But like, it's just, that's why that's why it probably fell off. He wasn't able to escape by. I think it was probably much more accepting in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, even, like, to be it was much more of a man's world. He could be a pig, and it was celebrated, and he was like the most celebrated pig of all.
For sure. You think about like top comedies of like the 70s and shit. It's like it's like Revenge of the Nerds. You guys are all going to jail, you little fucks.
Yeah, exactly. So
like American Pie is like a rape movie. Like,
all these things like that was like absolutely, what we were raised on watching, and it was acceptable back then. And Ron would like dined out on all of that more than anyone, and he had to feast on that. And then then he starts slipping, and he gets caught because the wind started blowing the other way. Well, guess what, Ron? Sorry, buddy. Fuck you. I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you. I don't think he'd ever see things the other way. I don't think he'd ever be like, oh man, I came up in this time where this is acceptable, but it wasn't really good. Maybe I was wrong and I'm sorry. I don't think he would ever have that moment. You know what I mean?
Do you think he's to a point, and it's probably a moot question, but that his entire existence and like his belief system in himself was completely wrapped up in that mentality, to the point where when everything was taken away from him, and that's why he deteriorated so quickly, when he didn't have everything that he did, everything that he thought was right and real, when it was taken away from him and he was in jail, he just started to completely fall apart because he didn't have anything.
I think for him, and I can't, I mean, I'm just guessing, but I think this is a guy who loved the attention because he had nothing else.
Yeah.
He had nothing else other than his notoriety, and he loved that, and he thought that notoriety afforded him things that he could just do.
Made him valuable.
Yeah, maybe it temporarily like made him feel like something. I don't know, but like,
yeah, and some stuff like I hate when
weird.
people like when Kevin Hart got in shit for a tweet he did 10 years ago, and everyone's like, okay, relax, it's 10 years ago. But it's like when you're molesting someone, you can't just be forgiven for that from 10 years ago. So like, you can't have a redemption story with this guy. I think that'd be impossible. So I think you're right. I think he just would have train tracked himself into oblivion anyway. Like he just would have chugged it into a fucking wall, no matter what, brain injury or not, or like
there's levels to the shit that he did, but like it was just so much and so far. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's bad. It's
not just
horrible.
like he made one bad drunk decision and like did like, it's like this was a pattern. It was a lifestyle. Yeah. And there was extra, like it was like full on.
This one's a serious question for Bo. I got a 100% serious question. Do you think that
would you fuck Ron Jeremy?
Your own would you turn straight for Ron Jeremy? Do you think that your own cum is the fountain of youth? Like is that what we're saying? Because it was deterioration. He was just eating his own cum for 30 years, 40 years, and when he stopped, he turned into that old fuck.
Like his cock was a fondue fucking.
I'm not confirming or denying my belief in that, but I believe there's enough funding that we could get some real concrete answers on it. Like just take a little bit out of the funding, figure it out. Because then if we've got a little fountain of youth there, keep him alive and let's do something with it. Oh no. I'd rather die.
I don't think that there's nothing stopping him from doing that. He just can't siphon it himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Ponce de Leon, all you had to do, the answers were within, sir. You didn't have to go searching. You could have just sucked your own dick.
Yeah, and live forever.
That's all I have. That's all I have for Ron Jeremy. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else, but I'm
good. I'm good. Never talking about Ron Jeremy again. That selfie really killed my buzz. It's on the internet forever.
Did he finger bang you?
I love this guy, bro.
Did he finger bang you though when he did the selfie? Did he go down into your panties?
He fisted me.
I know a guy if that could be fisted when I see one.
I didn't know anything about him, so I've learned a lot today.
What a history lesson this was.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you guys bullied him.
Who, Ron?
Yeah, you took away his emotional support chicken.
Ron dropped that shit. I found the culprit, and I returned it. I returned it to its rightful rapist.
Honestly, though, when you're at a roast, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Just fucking
take away
roast.
their emotional support chicken.
Oh yeah. You destroy them as hard, as bad as you can. You had to hurt someone, bring them down to earth.
So it was you. You broke Ron Jeremy.
You made Ron Jeremy what he is today.
You know what? I weakened him up so he get caught.
There you go.
I'm a fucking hero. This is frontier justice. That's what I do. I'm a vigilante.
I'm a fucking hero.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Unethical Podcast. If you're not in the Facebook group, stop being such a silly goose and come find us at Unethical, the official Unethical Podcast group. If you find you just can't handle the anticipation until the next episode, then it's a great time to join our Patreon, where we have a ton of extra unethical content, and of course, our brother podcast, Private Dicks. And in case you didn't hear the good news, Private Dicks is now Public Dicks. Every 2 weeks, an episode of Season 1 will drop wherever you eat your podcasts, and our lucky Patreon patrons are literally living in the future, listening to new episodes from Season 2. On the fence about it? Have a listen to the trailer and see what you think. If you've got a case, big or small, give the Private Dicks a call. And yes, the phone number is real. Enjoy!
Have you got a mystery that needs solving?
Where is Amelia Earhart?
We know.
Who the hell was D.B. Cooper?
Ah, easy.
Bermuda Triangle?
Probably solve that one next.
Here at Private Dicks, we guarantee a mystery solved every episode.
That's with a capital G.
Every second Friday, the Private Dicks take a client, record their session, and solve the world's greatest mysteries.
One by one.
Private Dicks solve them, no problem. God, I love just crushing mysteries. Search up Private Dicks on your favorite podcatcher and you can solve a mystery too.
The mystery of what's your favorite podcast?
It's Private Dicks. Another one solved.
If you have a mystery to be solved, call 1-855-PRVT-DIX. That's 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS.
Call 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS and leave us the rundown of the case. Maybe the Dicks will solve it.
855 Private Dicks. I'm straight when it comes to humans, but fucking gay from old people.